Alright, just gonna show off the Bonemass fight real quick. This character, he's a little bit up level. I got 43 in clubs, which is probably higher than you would normally have in the swamp, but it's not that much higher. Like, it's not ridiculous. Food-wise, we're gonna use sausages, carrot soup, and turnip stew, because we like that stamina. Armor-wise, I have a deerhide cape, because I couldn't find my troll cape, and the root set, which you can get in the swamp, and you should get in the swamp because it's awesome. We have some flint head arrows here with a fine wood bow. We're not going to be using those at all. Same with the flint spear here. Not going to use that whatsoever. We're going to be relying exclusively on the iron mace and the bandit shield, because the bone mass is weak to the blunt damage that this thing does, and it's nice to be able to block some shit that he throws at you in case things go horribly wrong. We have some meads ready. I have a Poison Resistance Mead here. It's extremely powerful against the bone mass because you won't have to worry about one of his attacks if you drink it. Nevertheless, I'm going to be showing you how to deal with it even if you don't use this mead. We have a minor stamina meat just in case I need a very quick breakaway or I need to burst down some damage. And we have a stack of 10 tasty meats in case I want the fights to go a little bit faster. Fortunately, Bonemass is very slow, so you can just wait out your stamina bar as long as you are rested, which we are for 7 more minutes. During the fight, you're going to be wet because you're in the swamp. Not a lot you can do about it. You can put down bonfires if you really want to, but personally, I think it's a bit of a waste. The main thing you should worry about is the ground around the bone mass altar. You want all of this to be above the water level. I don't have it above the water level here because it's kind of deep. I didn't want to bring a shit ton of stones around to try and get this place level. This amount of area is more than enough, fortunately, to dispatch the bone mass with relative ease. You want to make sure it's daytime, as always. Being in the swamp at night is capricious at the worst of times, and if you're just going to kill the bone mass for the first time, you probably are still a little bit scared. So don't be here at night. Don't find the wraiths. Don't get ganked by a bunch of draugr and a bunch of blobs. Finally, you're going to need these things. The withered bone, you find those in the crypts. I think there is one right over there. That's my portal on top of it. In the crypts, you mine down the scrap iron, and you also find withered bones. You need 10 withered bones in order to summon the bone mass. Now, the bone mass is going to do some pretty simple attacks. First of all, he is going to swing at you, try to hit you. You can just dodge roll this. It's not very hard to dodge. You can also block it, but be aware that a boss creature cannot actually be stunned or staggered. So if you're going to block, it's not going to do much for you. You're still going to take a little bit of damage and you're going to lose some stamina. Better to just dodge roll. He is also going to throw a blob of bones and ooze away from you. When that blob lands, that's going to turn into some ooze mobs and a skeleton mob, which will immediately go on your ass. What you generally want to do is, when he is preparing to throw the blob, move away from the bone mass a little bit, find out where he's going to throw it, go to where it lands, quickly kill everything that spawns there, and then go back to the bone mass. The third attack that the bone mass performs is a poison spread. He's going to puke on the floor around himself, which is going to spawn a massive poison field. If you are using the Poison Resistance Mead, you don't actually give a shit. You are very resistant to poison, especially combined with the Root Mask, which gives you resistance to poison. If you do not, it's extremely easy to just run away from the bone mass, get out of range of that poison field, and wait for him to walk out of it. I'll show you in a second. Okay, our buffs have been reset. We got 25 minutes on all our foods. We got 20 minutes of being arrested. Don't mind the corpse around in the bottom, or in the top right. 10 more withered bones in our hot bar. I think it's time to meet our big old friend. There we go. So, when you spawn the Bonemass, you want to pay attention to where these particles are focused. Turns out they're actually focused right where I'm standing. That's where the Bonemass is going to spawn. As soon as he spawns in, which is right now, you can start swinging. And look at those lovely yellow numbers. We can get 3 loops in before he ever starts doing anything. Now that was his barf. As you can see, he was heaving like 3 times before he actually started barfing. This is really funny. You want to get out of that poison field if you don't use the poison resistance, which currently we are not using. Now, that second attack he did was throw a piece of goop from under his arm out into the battlefield. Unfortunately, he threw it right on top of his own skull, which meant that all the mobs that spawned from it spawned on top of the skull. They were all blobs, fortunately, and they can just jump down. It's a little bit annoying, but nothing problematic. Now, there's one of his little swings. You can get 2 loops of 3 attacks in before he goes on to his next attack. And again, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and he is going to throw some shit away. We're gonna run right towards that and kill it to death. Once again, he's going to spawn the poison field. As you can see in the top right, I do not actually have poison resistance at this moment, so I don't really want to stand in there. Although I do have the root mask, so I can tank it a little bit. But most of all, I just want a clear field of view, so I don't have to take any unnecessary damage as well. Because if you miss one of these hits with your block, like I'll show you right now, that's half my health bar gone. And he poisons with his claw attack as well, for a little bit. The poison field, that's bad news. That's 15 seconds of actual poison, which ticks faster than you might think. Okay, he's going to throw another one of those goop balls. He's throwing it right over here. Swing, swing, and dead. And he's going to try to swing me. I dodge roll easily. I do another loop of 1, 2, 3 twice, and he's gonna do another attack, but I strafe out of the way very easily. He barfs on the floor, but I'm out of there. As you can see, you don't actually have to go that far in order to avoid the poison field entirely. Dodge roll that swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and he's already at about a sixth of his health bar. There's not a lot else to this fight. He's just going to keep doing these 3 attacks for the rest of the fight until you find yourself in a position to finish him off. I'm probably going to take poison here. As you can see, that's a long-ass poison. It was reduced a little bit because of my root mask, which gives me the poison resistance. But it's still quite a lot of damage if you are unprepared. So get that root mask, get that poison resist mead, and you won't have to worry about a thing. And I'll just finish him up real quick. As you may have noticed, he spawned a couple mobs over there. Let's take care of those as well real quick. Mr. Ooze on land, please. Thank you. And 1 skeleton. Look at how deep that water is. And we're done. Bonemass lies dead. We pick up the trophy, we pick up the wishbone, and we say GG's. And good luck in your Viking adventures.